Anyways, there's been a lot of conversation lately about when and if you should quit your W-2 job. And that is an interesting question. So I went in the Navy right out of high school. That was 1985. Got out of the Navy in 1989. And, I worked in the corporate world for a while, managing restaurants as well as a couple of the jobs here and there along the way. Mostly construction and restaurants is what I did after the Navy. So I did have a W-2 job from 1989 until 1997. Not a job, but a couple of different jobs. I'm not a good employee. I'm a natural born entrepreneur, and many times entrepreneurs do not make good employees. We do not make good students, like formal students. And as you know, a lot of the prolific entrepreneurs of our time have all dropped out of college or never went. The Bill Gates, the Facebook guys, well, I guess they were at Harvard or whatever, but I don't know if they finished. Steve Jobs, I'm not sure. Jeff Bezos, I don't really know, but there's a lot of case studies about entrepreneurs that never went to high school. In fact, Kurt Richardson, who founded OtterBox, he came to Charlottesville. We did an event with him a few years ago, and he didn't go to college. And, he's a billionaire. And so it's an entrepreneurial trait to not be a good student necessarily and to not be a good employee. We just have that fire, that passion. We just want to get out and just carve our own path and not be limited and not have a ceiling or a cap put on us. So the question is, should you quit your W-2 job? Now, a lot of this depends on where you are in your life and in your family situation. Do you have kids? What are your responsibilities? What are your bills? How much money do you have in the bank? Things like that. And more importantly, what are your skills and your abilities to earn and generate income to replace that steady paycheck? And the thing that you really need to think about is you want to make sure that you've got at least 6 months to a year's worth of savings to cover you when you step out on your own, depending on what it is you're going to do, what your skill level is, what your ability to earn is, and if you're currently doing a side gig that could go full time, you just want to make sure that you can offset that income and cover it, for a good period of time until you can replace that income. The other thing to remember is when you step out on your own, it all begins and ends with you. You have to eat what you kill. You got to get out there every day, hunt something down, kill it, and drag it home. That's how it works. So it's up to you. Nobody's going to be there to make it happen for you. Nobody's going to push you. Nobody's going to reward you. You have to go out. You have to stake your claim. You got to hunt it down, kill it, drag it home, clean it, and eat it. So that's kind of how I'm wired. When I started out, my kids were young. They were 3 and 5, and we didn't need a ton of money, and I had some skills in construction, so it wasn't hard to replace the income that I needed to replace. So I just went out, started doing some side jobs, and made it happen, and built everything from there. And that was 1997, and I never looked back. And here we are in 2019. So that's been 23 years now that I've been self-employed, and there's been ups and downs. It hasn't always been great. There's been some very difficult lean times, and there's been some really great times. So the key is you want to have some reserves, you want to have a little cushion there, and you want to make sure that you're fully committed and you understand that it's up to you. When you're out there on your own, nobody's going to do it for you. You got to get out and you got to make it happen. You got to be self-motivated. You got to have a very strong sense of urgency. That paycheck's not going to come in. You got to, on its own. You got to get out there and create it. When you're an employee, all you got to do is show up. And if you lose a job, chances are you can get an equal equivalent job in the workforce. So it's a very personal decision. If you are young and you're graduating college and you have an opportunity to go to graduate school, I would do that. The network from a graduate school program is valuable. So I always advise young people, go ahead and get that graduate degree while you can, while you're young, and before you have a family and things get in the way, just so you've got it and you've got that network and it's done and it's on your resume. If you have a PhD you want to get, you can work on that as well and go ahead and knock that out while you're young before you have kids and a family and obligations. And it's also a great time to start a business too. So, when you're young, you can take a lot more risk than you can when you get a little older with kids and family and those responsibilities that can kind of weigh on your decisions. You got to take care of your family first and foremost. So now, if you are a family person and your kids are younger, it's easier to take the risk then than when they get older. Kids get more expensive as they get older. The bills get bigger. You got to send them to college and weddings and, all those types of things happen. Cars, insurance for the cars. A lot of expenses come as the kids get older that you don't have when they're younger. So, you can take a little bit more risk when they're younger, which is what I did. That's just a path I was on. I always knew that I was going to be self-employed. I always knew that I wanted my own business, no matter what. So you just need to make sure that you design your lifestyle and you create a budget first and foremost, and you focus on that to make sure the bills are covered and you have some reserves, and then the rest kind of falls in place, and it's a little bit easier to do as you go along, and try to make those things happen. But that's really the key. You got you really, it's a personal decision. Nobody can really make that decision for you. It's really based on where you're at in your life, where you're at with your family, and what is the best decision for you and your family overall. It can, self-employment can be great. It's a great path to be on. You call your own shots, you make your own rules. You still have to answer to your customers. Your customers are the boss. You still have to serve people. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to make it happen. There are no limits. You have to work hard and smart, create opportunities, and the sky's the limit. So that's my 2 cents on whether or not you should quit your W-2 job and step out on your own. If you're starting a business, then you want to create businesses that generate cash flow to invest in other assets, so that you can invest your profits and have assets that pay you, and then you're not so beholden to a W-2. And you can do that. There's a lot of people that do that. I have a lot of clients that do that, a lot of colleagues that do that. They build their portfolio while they're working. They reinvest their W-2 income into other assets so that they can eventually replace their income. So if you want to be out on your own, you want to do it full time, focus on replacing your income first and foremost, whether it's a business or whether it's real estate, and then continue to build on that and generate profits and live on the income that you replaced. Take the excess and continue to invest that in other assets to pay for your lifestyle, to pay for your house, pay for your cars, things like that. So you want to create businesses that generate profits and cash flow to invest in other assets that then pay for your lifestyle and things like that. And so that's how you do it. That's your decision. It's something that you really need to sit down, put on paper, and really make sure that that it's what you want to do and it's the best decision for you and your family. And I hope you have a great evening, and we will talk to you soon.